Welcome, Army sports fans, from sea to shining sea. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and the mere sound of my voice lets you know it's time to talk about Army Black Knight football. And we are here in the attic, the actual palatial confines of our radio station, WZZN. And I'm here joined today by the human Ouija board, Steve Kripe.
Yeah, and now you get to use that word correctly. This is palatial. I mean, there's carpet that doesn't look like it's
nice.
Secondhand, and this is nice.
A hot and cold running water and flush toilets.
Yeah.
And you can see the back of Steve's head on our Facebook Live broadcast. Also, the long snapper, Jeff Johnson, is here with us today. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm honored to be flanked by two radio legends.
I don't think the word means what you think it means.
I think you are in the wrong place. But, folks, it is November the 10th. It is Veterans Day Eve, and we're all veterans, and we'd like to thank everybody out there who is a veteran for their service and hope they enjoy a little time tomorrow to reflect upon their career and their contributions to the country. And we're going to play a little homage to Veterans Day tonight. Tonight we have a good show for you. Our first guest is going to be Coach Cody Worley, the quarterback's coach. And guys, a lot to talk about in quarterback land in Army football these days. They don't just hand it off and pitch anymore. And at 7:30 tonight, I wanted to have a veteran on who played Army football and who also has defended the country in person, and that's Patty Heiliger, Lieutenant Colonel Patty Heiliger. He's going to be on at 7:30, and then we may have some time for your phone calls at the last half of the show at 256-576-4977. But now it is time to take a little bit of basking in our glory and talk about our overtime.
Basking in the afterglow. That's right. We sort of kick our feet up, light up, and just enjoy.
What a weekend, man.
Savor that win just a bit.
Well, if you weren't tracking it, folks, Army beat Air Force 21-14 in the first ever overtime game between those two teams. And I'll say this, Jeff, I know you're there, Steve, but that was one you and I watched together. One hell of a game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially the second half. Neither team could really get much going in the first half. We had a dominant third quarter, and I always begin to think, hey, this may be midway through the fourth quarter, I may be able to kick my feet up and grab a cold one and just leisurely view. But unfortunately, there was a little more drama down the home stretch than I was hoping for.
And Jeff, you were out there, right?
Yeah. So, and I was, I've never been so emotional about a game. It was killing me because my heart was just 200 plus the entire game, right? And we knew it was going to be a hard fought battle. We were so evenly matched going into the game. I remember somebody saying it's like playing against yourself, right? It's who's going to make the fewest mistakes and
who's going to flinch.
Yeah. Two strong running games, two outstanding run defenses, and then ton of discipline on both sides, and both teams with a lot of mental toughness, right? That don't make a lot of mistakes in the games.
Well, you mentioned the number one, number two rushing team in the country went against each other, and neither one of them performed well in the rushing game. Army only, Steve, you and I were talking about this. If you looked at Army's statistics and didn't know the score, you would say, we lost that one, didn't we?
Yeah, didn't exactly cover themselves in glory, but it really was a case of, again, not, like Monken always says, our opponent every weekend is Army. Let's not beat ourselves. And that was the case. There was not a really big mistake that ended up being a difference maker. Whereas Air Force, I think it really came down to they turned the ball over once. Both teams turned it over on downs, but that's good aggressive play. But I really think it came to that one turnover being the big difference. Now, granted, we did not capitalize when we got the ball in that time. We didn't put it in the end zone or kick a field goal. But again, that was one less time that Air Force had the opportunity to score themselves.
Well, just for what it's worth, Air Force was averaging. We were both averaging over 300-yard rushing a game. We had a grand total of 102 rushing yards, averaging less than 3 yards a carry, and Air Force had 175, and they averaged less than 4 yards a carry. So the rushing game wasn't there, and there's so many highlights to that game, so many. If we did the good, the bad, and the ugly, it'd be a whole lot of good. But Just Steve.
Yeah, and on that point, I mean, when's the last time that Army had more passing yards than rushing yards? That's sort of a trivia question, and then you got to go way back. But when's the last time? It was almost a 2-to-1 ratio in favor of passing yards over rushing yards. I mean, you'd have to go pre-Jim Young days. I mean, you'd have to probably go back into the 70s, maybe even the 60s, where that was the case.
Well, one thing I liked about that, and one thing I'm liking about Jeff Monken's evolving philosophy is I can recall the Western Kentucky game a couple of years ago where the fullback dive wasn't working, but we tried it 500 times before we decided it didn't work. Now it seems like the Coach Brent Davis, the offensive coordinator, and the other coaches have said, hey, we got some talent on this team. If one thing ain't working, let's do something else. What do you think, Jeff? What was your key to the game?
Yeah, well, so there's so many big plays. And the one thing that stands out to me is the O-line. I mean, obviously, Boobie Law had the big recovery in the end zone, and I apologize, I can't think of the guy's name that was helping TT get to the end zone, right, on that play. That was huge, right?
Yeah, 50, number 58, we'll have to look that
up.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we only got 102 yards rushing, but it's just a great team effort. But, man, there's 10 plays easily that you could think of that were just standing out. Eric Smith covering sideline to sideline.
Oh man, yeah,
man,
he's the real deal. He may be playing on Sundays.
Yeah, but I want to share this quote. Steve, thanks again for the gouge or G2. This Joe Iacono from GDK.
Yeah, he's a member of our Facebook page as well.
So he says Army appeared just a little more desperate than Air Force, always in the right place at the right time. Boobie Law. Army just wanted maybe a hair more. I mean, it came down to a hair, man. It was so cool.
Oh, yeah, it did. But I will say I have seen an adaptability to the coaching staff this year that we've talked about several of the games. Well, let me back up. In previous seasons, it just seemed like Monken was okay. I know what works, and we'll stick with it, and persistent. There have been some just masterful halftime adjustments where, again, in this game was the same way. Third quarter was decisive. Those halftime adjustments were prominent. But I think in the passing game, going from the running game to the passing game, that was another one. As a matter of fact, Monken made the comment. He said, well, I wish we didn't have to throw it. I like it a lot better when we just run the ball. But like I said, credit to them, they did a good job of stopping us. But again, it's the acknowledgement. Okay, if that's not working, there's a willingness to make those kind of adjustments that I think just we really saw the culmination of that in this game. But we've been seeing hints of it all through the season.
There's one play in that game, I think, Steve, you were pounding me on the shoulder for being such a negative Nelly, but it was when Tyler made his 10-yard touchdown run, and it looked like he was stopped. And I was going, what the heck did they call that play for? There's no.
I'm the same way.
I think the comment was a little more condescending than that. But go ahead, Jeff.
No, I look down. I might have had a sip of beer or something too. I'm like, oh
man.
And I look up, and he's in the end zone. I'm like,
yeah. And I tell you what, T2, hats off to him. He, to run this offense, it takes a degree of ruggedness is probably the best way to put it. You can't go down on first contact, and he really has developed into that mold. He always had the great field vision, saw the gaps, great lateral movement, but he has really blossomed into that element of ruggedness that he just doesn't want to go down.
Well, now there is one little thing that I didn't like in that game, and we had their quarterback, Hazik, whatever his name was, Hazik something.
Daniels.
Hazik Daniels. He's not a good quarterback, and he picked us apart pretty much.
Especially, if you looked at his stats earlier in the year, and we went over those, last week. I really saw that element. We were been vulnerable defensively in the passing game, but I looked on the other side of the ball. I think they were ranked 85th in some prominent passing stats, and they were just once he found his rhythm, it was like, holy smokes, did not see this coming on either side of the ball.
Okay, folks, well, Smokey Mike is about to hit me over the head because we need to take a break. And as we go out to break, remember North Alabama Mortgage. Brian Hammaker and his team, whatever you need, they'll walk you through the mortgage process, and they'll make you get the best deal possible. Friendly folks, good people, good friend of mine, NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. They're all over Alabama. They'll get you a deal. This is Crawdad, back in a few minutes.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great-grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Check
out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and this is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. I have Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board, with me. Jeff Johnson, the long snapper. Coach Joe Ross is parts unknown, and Colonel Tom is with his father down in Tejas, and it's a good thing to spend time with your folks. And tonight,
outstanding,
we have our first guest is the quarterback's coach, Coach Cody Worley. Coach, are your ears burning? We've been talking a lot of good stuff about the quarterbacks.
How's it going, guys?
Man,
going well.
It couldn't be going better. And I would imagine this. I would have to think you've got to be mighty proud of the play of your quarterbacks last week.
Well, for sure. I think I probably aged about 10 years doing that game,
as did we all.
But, you know, the outcome and those guys being able to come out on top was critical. But, Yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm incredibly proud of those two guys, Tyre engineering the first scoring touchdown right after halftime, and Christian coming in and throwing the ball really well. And then obviously he was in for the touchdown in overtime that he fumbled, and Booby Laws was able to recover in the end zone. But it goes down to 6 either way you look at it. But
That's right.
Yeah.
those guys played outstanding.
Yeah, you mentioned Tyre, and it's been a joy to watch his maturation, especially this year. He's always been quick, had great field vision, finding those gaps, great lateral movement, but really has taken some steps not only in the passing game, but to me more importantly, especially this style of offense, has been just his ruggedness, not going down first contact, and we definitely saw that on that touchdown run. Tell me how that has come about in his skill set.
Yeah, well, as you guys know, I mean, his biggest strength is being able to run the ball, and his acceleration and hitting seams and gaps and all those things. But I tell you, one of the best qualities about the kid is his toughness. And with his size and stature, you may not realize that till you get out on the field. But I can assure you, the defensive coaches and the guys that play against him and his teammates, they'll